The Owl House. I'm writing this introduction before I've seen a single episode, and I'm really excited for this, but I don't know what to expect. This is the next really popular Disney animation after Amphibia, which I also haven't seen, and both were made after the success of Gravity Falls, which I haven't talked about on this channel yet, but I did rewatch it when I planned to talk about it in October last year. I swear to God I did. I have no idea what to expect for this show though. My expectations are high because everybody says good things about this and praises it a lot, so I honestly can't wait. I'm talking about this show because you guys voted for it in the polls. If you want to have a say so on what videos I do next, subscribe and be active in those polls. It really does help me out to know what you guys want me to talk about. All of these shows I have some interest in, but I just switched them around, yada yada yada, depending on what you guys want me to talk about. So this happens to be the next one, and the next one will probably be my Suicide Squad video, maybe some stuff in between that, but yeah, subscribe, be active in the polls. You never know when I'm going to be asking what videos I want to do next. The Owl House is a Disney animated series created by Dana Terrace, who has storyboard credits for Gravity Falls, so I was heavily anticipating this series and learning more about it. If you want to know what The Owl House is about, it's about this young girl who's just super quirky. Everybody's just so tired of her quirkiness. So her mom is planning to send her off to some normal summer camp to teach her about normal things and for her to stop being so quirky. But before she could leave, she got sent into this weird door, being taken to this magical world full of other quirky people just like her. This part was written after I seen the first few episodes of this, and why did nobody tell me this show wasn't finished? Like I honestly, I probably wouldn't have put this in my polls if I knew this show wasn't finished, but I'm a man of my word, so you know what, we're going to talk about this series even though it's not finished. I'm going to talk about season 1 alone though. We're going to touch season 2 later on when that finishes. So let's go ahead and jump into The Owl House season 1. Season 1 has honestly been a really cute ride so far, with lore sprinkled all over it. You would assume I'd be tired of a trope where someone tries to be the greatest blank of all time, whether it's pirate or wizard king, hero or Hokage, but I think this stands out pretty well, especially with it being a cartoon and us following a female protagonist for once. I really like how they refuse to follow the chosen one trope. Usually in a show, movie, or game like this where someone is sent or transported to a new fantastical world, it always turns out that that person is destined for greatness, which could still be true later on for this, but early on they make it very clear that this is not that trope. The second episode in particular does this, where Luz meets this wizard who sends her on a quest to find a staff only a chosen one can release, only for it to end up being a trap set up to try and capture Ida. They make it very clear that this isn't our imagination of how a fantasy world should be. They play around with that concept pretty well. Honestly, love the pacing of this show. It has a slice of life kind of pacing to it. I can see if that turns people off from this, but things are still very serialized. There's this whole slow build of her being banned from the school in the early episodes to Ida finally enrolling her halfway through and her end up actually going to the school. I just think it's paced really well, where things are actually rewarded for us watching this. I don't want to do this, but comparing it to Gravity Falls, I just enjoy the way that this is structured a lot more. Gravity Falls has split its serialized and comedic episodes from each other, which is a fine way to do it to let us know the characters, but I think this blends them together pretty well in a strong way, where episodes seemingly have no importance to the overall story, but they always end up giving us enough information to maybe end up thinking that it is just as important as any other episode would be. I think the main difference is that this is trying to establish an entire new world along with setting things up for the future, so everything just seems new and important. We're just like Luz, bright-eyed, new to this world, and having high hopes for what this world has to offer. Honestly speaking, I might just be a fan of slow gradual builds and seeing people aren't just tropes and they act a certain way for a reason. Like Amity, whom I swore was going to just be a mean girl, a rival to Luz for the entire series. But again, it was only for the first half of this season, cause Luz's personality is so strong that even Amity can't help but to like her. I know these two end up together later on, and honestly, I'm really here for it. It's a sitcom trope where the person that the mean person is rude to the most eventually ends up together with the mean girl, and I don't know, I'm a sucker for romantic stories, so I really just like this. Amity also might be my favorite character of the season so far. After Grom Night, which the dance sequence of that is amazing, and looking at the name on Amity's note, it just had me in tears. It had me in tears, this whole segment. Amity cannot hide her feelings anymore and just acts flustered around Luz a lot after this, and it's just so cute. Like, Jesus Christ, it's just so cute. Having this slow pace to end in such a big bang at the end of the season is great. The status quo has been shaken up and will not be resetting. A great way of ending the season. Before we get into the overall section, I do have one question. At the end of Grom Night, where Luz finally had the courage to message her mom back, and her mom said she loves the letters she gets, and it cuts to her next to a lot of letters that we know aren't from Luz. I'm losing my shit, guys. Like, who are they from? No one was there in the first episode in the World War to know what's going on. Like, am I crazy? What's going on here? So there's been a lot of change of plans with this video. Originally, I wanted to get like some of the cast members from the show or something to kind of talk about their house, because I had a lot of questions while watching season 1. Or I wanted to get like some creators that talk about the outhouse, especially since season 2's been ramping up a lot. But things really just hasn't been going my way. Nobody's emailed me back, nobody's messaged me back or followed me back on Twitter. So now it's time for something else. I have written an amazing video, in my opinion, and that's why I'm outside right now. I'm filming that video, and I can't wait to show it to you guys. It's gonna be so fun. Next week, if you know, editing goes great, next week you're gonna see that, and I really hope you're going to enjoy it, because I'm super excited for it. Here's the preview for that video. If you don't want to see the preview, here's the timestamp from when the overall section starts, so just go ahead and go to that if you don't want to look at the preview. Okay, all right, listen, I'm gonna do it now. I'm gonna do it. Light. I should probably have written this part after I've calmed down and had time to think about this a bit more, but this season's fantastic. I'm just gonna say it. I really like this season. Perfectly paced, great characters all around. The only flaw I could give this is that sometimes they like to shoehorn a petty drama between Willow, Gus, and Luz. Like, they aren't going to end up friends again at the end. Like, I just don't care for that. I just don't care for that. Eda and Lilith's story, just fucking perfect. Just fucking perfect. I can't believe she did that to her. What a bitch. I don't forgive her. We hold grudges on these parts, guys. Like, I'm still ready to scrap Lilith whenever I see her. Like, don't show up around my side of town, you know? If you made it this far and haven't seen it yet, I highly recommend it if you're a fan of modern cartoons. This takes what has been good so far and drives it even more in the right direction. I forgot to mention the animation, especially for a few fights, is hot as hell. Chef's kiss, mwah, mwah. A great story overall. Am I too positive in a lot of my videos? I'm not sure, but this is I'm down to watch a bad show, but this is just a really good show. Like, I'm going to lose the streak of watching really good shows eventually, and I'm going to be so sad when I do, but this is just such a good show. Go watch it if you have the time. But with that being said, that's basically it. I just really enjoy watching good stuff and talking about it with you guys, the fans of said show, and just having discussions about it is always fun. Having to speculate and theorize. I don't think I could do that currently because season 2 is very rapid and very ending in a big bang right now, and I haven't seen anything of season 2 yet, so I can't talk to any of you guys about it. But like, oh man, like, people are talking. I don't know anything, but I do know my mind's probably gonna break once I get to Hollow Mind. That's all I know, and I can't wait till I get to that part. Oh man, I'm not gonna fanboy or girl or whatever you fan something anymore. I'm just gonna end it. Yeah, like, comment, subscribe. I'll see each and every one of you around next time. Okay. Goodbye.